The next day. Tuesday morning, September 27th. After a day of exasperation and boredom alike, my return home last night was beyond welcome. I had lost more time than I thought while stalking my prey, and my return was anything but prompt. Even though I wasn't directly responsible for my target's death, I still wasn't exactly blameless, and escape didn't come as easily as I'd hoped. Although I did manage to flee the scene after a while, the ordeal took far too long, and late-night public transport didn't help matters in the slightest. By the time I made it home, Sarah was already sound asleep, no doubt tired of waiting for her no-good brother to finally return. I was hoping to be back just after my old work hours, but that all went to hell the second I decided to wait my victim out. It's fortunate that I had the presence of mind to change into my usual clothing before going to bed, and I'm relieved that my first assignment was a success. Even so, I can't do this again. Next time, given a full week rather than a single night, I'll make sure to get home at a reasonable time. About time you got up. Though it might be a tad late for that. Without another word, Sarah took hold of my wrist, escorted me into the living room, and forced me to sit down. Sarah then grabbed an open envelope from the kitchen, which she promptly threw onto the coffee table in front of me. Unlike when Marcus paid me, the envelope this time was a fat A4 envelope coming apart at the seams. Now, isn't A4 European? Go ahead, open it. Reservedly reaching for the envelope, I did as my sister said. $12,000. I've counted it 3 times now. Inside of that envelope is $12,000. I pulled out some of the cash from the envelope and began counting it myself. Money, more than I had ever seen, continued to pour onto the coffee table, endlessly piling up as small to high notes filled my sight. My mental tally reached many thousands of dollars before I inevitably lost count, indicating to me that Sarah was without a doubt correct. 12,000. Marcus paid me 2,000 in advance, and I worked as a collector for 2 weeks. How the hell does that equal 12 grand? Did Karasu not realize what that Marcus paid me? Was the 2 grand only for the first day? Did Marcus's pay carry over to me after death? Surely last night's job wasn't factored in. Could it be that Karasu was lying in my pockets? Whatever the case, if I can look forward to this kind of pay going forward, then... Oh, right. Now this is going to be a problem. I can hardly believe this myself, and how am I supposed to explain it to Sarah? No honest job pays this well. Sarah knows that as well as I do. Well, I guess I can only play dumb. Where on earth did you get this money? 12 grand just doesn't show up on your doorstep. It does when you inhabit the residence. No, I naively believed you last time, but this much? You aren't going to lie your way out of this. Shit. Today's gonna top last night, isn't it? Just my luck. Look, just calm down for a minute. Why are you so angry? This is obviously a mistake. Why am I angry? You come and go throughout the day, disappear all night, all without telling me a damn thing. Then yesterday, an envelope full of cash showed up on our doorstep, and you thought I'd just ignore it? Damn it. Just what is her problem? 12 grand shows up on her doorstep, and she complains? Anyone else would be jumping for joy. Look, I can't tell you how I got the money, okay? You just have to trust me. Trust you? You sneak back in the middle of the night smelling like blood and sweat, and you expect me to trust you? But Sarah, you stay right there. You aren't going anywhere until you tell me exactly what's going on. Alright, that's it. I don't have to sit here and take this. I love my typically angelic sister, but when she gets like this... Even I can't put up with Sarah when she jumps from ecstatic to pissed in 2 seconds flat. Where do you think you're going? I tried to walk past Sarah, but she adamantly refused to move. So... push past and leave without her, or take her against her will? Let's go without her. Oh well, even if she blocks my path, it's not like Sarah can stop me. I left the house earlier than usual, taking with me some spending money from the newest source of drama in my life. It's far too early to deal with that kind of drama. I should be in bed right now reaping my reward for a job well done. Instead, I'm running away from my own sister like a coward. Honestly, who gets angry at money showing up on their doorstep? And for whose sake does she think I keep lowering myself to the likes of a criminal? But there's no use getting aggravated over it. Whether I like it or not, Sarah's right to be angry. Large sums of money don't just show up in a person's house, not without consequences. Even if I don't have a problem with what I'm doing, it's only logical that my sister would feel differently. My actions are quite immoral, not to mention highly illegal. So until I can face her with a level head, I need to bide my time and calm my nerves. And in order to do that, I think I'll learn a little more about this town in which I will be working. I've actually covered a few districts within Richmond that I never thought I'd enter. When I first came to this town, my plan was to only skulk around the safer districts and to go directly to and from work every day. But during my short stint as a collector, I wound up patrolling several business districts, and given the nature of my new job, I'll likely end up exploring many more. Speaking of which, I guess I really am a killer now, aren't I? Last night I saw to the death of a complete stranger solely because I needed the money. I didn't think about declining, I never considered abandoning the job halfway through, and I didn't hesitate to take action any step of the way. A man is now dead because of my own greed, and yet nobody cares. That's right. Taking a human life isn't supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be a deplorable act that only the worst of us could even consider doing. And yet, it was so quick, so easy. A group of people told me that a man needed to die. I stalked him, spent the day watching him, and before the day was over, he was dead. Did he deserve to die? Did he need to die? Was there truly no other way than to take his life? Who cares? You said it yourself. Nobody does. I'm just thinking too much into this. Those questions don't need answering. It's already too late for them to have any impact. I need to come to terms with my new job and accept the fact that I'm simply not a moral person. I killed a man purely out of greed, and I'll readily do so again. Of course, even if I'm a bad person, that doesn't mean I can't enjoy the simpler attractions this town has to offer. I've seen many of the shady businesses within this town, seen sides of people they usually keep hidden, but I've spared no thought for the sides people actually want to see. Even in a town like this, where lives are worth nothing more than a paycheck, there are still sights worth seeing. I've been too caught up in the underworld of this town to pay attention to the deceptive surface and the innocent image it cultivates. Whether it's real or not, I shouldn't let the beauty of this town be drowned out by the... You've got to be kidding me. Is that who I think it is? You can't escape reality that easily. I should have known. It doesn't matter if I want to see the evil in this town or not. The fact is, I've already become aware of it. I can't enter a restaurant without thinking about running collections. I can't walk past a pair of teenagers without thinking about what happened with Lucia. And now I'm running into killers in the freaking park. Every car park is a reminder of Karasu's underground arena. Every gym reminds me of the ambush that had been waiting for me. Whether I like it or not, this town has already taken root within my brain. It's too late to play dumb and simply take the things I see at face value. The only thing left to do now is... morning. Embrace this town for what it is. Hey now, don't tell me you've forgotten my face already. As popular as ever with the ladies, huh? No, wait. Maybe this is some unspoken rule between people in our occupation. In case one of us is ever caught, it's best to pretend we don't know each other so we can't drag one another down. She might even be in the middle of a job, in which case my interference would only hinder her efforts. If that's the case, maybe we best just leave her alone. Screw it, if I've crossed the line, she can tell me so. I'm Suo. We met yesterday morning, remember? I was told to clean up Violet's mess and she couldn't handle it herself. Well, I guess that counts as a reaction, though not the kind I was was hoping for. So, are you working right now? I only had the one assignment, but you probably have a full week's worth, right? Back to square one. This is hopeless. I guess you probably are busy, so I shouldn't waste any more of your time. I'll see you on Friday, okay? The girl promptly disappeared, failing to even utter a single word as she did so. That's what I get for trying to be nice, huh? Not even a goodbye. Oh well, it's not like we won't see enough of one another in the future. Maybe she's just the kind of person who needs time to get comfortable around people. I was surprised enough to see someone my age or even younger already working under Karasu. Even if friendship is a stretch, it would be nice if we could get along. Myself aside, the second youngest person in our group has to be at least in his 20s. Maybe she's simply used to not speaking her mind, since the rest of her coworkers are all out of her age range. I can't imagine she had much in common with the rest of them outside of work. It really isn't worth worrying about, is it? I was prepared to give this town another chance to look on the bright side, and then that girl just showed up out of nowhere. As a result, I couldn't even enjoy my time out of the house, and I wound up thinking about work again instead. This new lifestyle of mine really will take time to adjust to. After spending my morning out of the house and successfully avoiding my sister's wrath, I returned to an empty, peaceful home. I devoted the rest of my time alone to exercising, honestly bereft of anything more meaningful to do, and tired myself out more than I thought possible. Push-ups, sit-ups, jogging around the neighborhood, even performing pull-ups at a playground a few blocks away, I did everything I could think of. I drank more water than ever before, pushed my muscles past their limits, and soon regretted doing so. After a few hours of intense exercise, I felt like I was ready to pass out. With my livelihood depending on my physical fitness, I knew it was for the best. As fit as I may be, a healthy body can mean the difference between life and death for me, so there's no such thing as overdoing it. The only things I need to be wary of now are the side effects such a lifestyle may bring. Unfortunately, one of those side effects was already making itself very obvious. Reeking of sweat, I forced myself into the shower, careful to avoid invoking my sister's anger twice in one day. As if she'd been waiting for me to bathe, the moment I finished putting my dirty clothes back on, I was greeted by a familiar face. "Good evening, madam." I guess she's still mad about this morning. This is gonna be a long night. As I closed the front door after her, Sarah slipped into her bedroom and put away her backpack and school books. I followed Sarah into her room, but the moment I tried to talk to her, she just walked straight back out. So, how was school? Make lots of friends? Keep out of trouble? Learn some new recipes? Top your class in a test? Or maybe you were too busy fighting off the boys to get any work. You want to know how my day was? You really want to know? Fine then, let me tell you. First, I spent the entire morning wondering where the hell you could have gone after running away like a coward. After that, I started to think about how you made so much money to begin with. I tried to compile a list of methods in class, but you know what? No honest job pays that well. Maybe my brother's a criminal, I thought. Maybe he stole that money, or sold something that didn't belong to him. Sarah? Shut up! You want to know what I got up to today? Because this is exactly it. 6 hours of classwork and I still couldn't calm down at all. I just spent the whole day stressing and thinking the worst. And after tearing my hair out trying to figure out how you made that damn money, you know what I realized? It doesn't matter how you made the money. Even if you stole it, I could deal with that. But what I can't forgive is you keeping it secret from me. Why? Why can't you just be honest with me? I used to know everything about you, but lately, it's like I don't even know who you are anymore. Sarah, don't touch me. Damn, Sarah's more worked up about this whole matter than I thought. I figured that leaving her alone for a while would give her time to cool off, but instead it's just made matters worse. She spent the whole day letting her insecurities fester until I gave her a chance to vent. What's more, I become so focused on making ends meet and surviving in this town that I never even considered how Sarah felt about it all. But there's just no way I could ever tell Sarah what I do for a living. Even if Sarah's mad now, hearing that I got that money hurting people, killing people, she'd never speak to me again. So, as much as it pains me, do you really want to know how I've been making money? Alright. The truth is, I've been doing temp work for a construction company. If I want to get out of this without destroying our relationship, I can only lie. Don't you lie to me, there's no way construction pays that well. Normally it doesn't, but I've been working all through the day lately, as well as during the night. Last fortnight I was working on an urgent project. It paid well, but as you noticed, I had to work all hours of the day, and it's dangerous work. That's why I returned home half dead in the middle of the night not that long ago. But hey, it certainly pays well enough. Long hours, night work, exhausting shifts, they gotta make it worth our while, you know. That's it? Huh? You're telling me that I've been worrying myself into an early grave and all you've been doing is construction work? Why'd you just tell me? Well, like I said, it's only temp work and it's often dangerous. I didn't want you to worry about... I was worried. You should have just told me from the start. Do you have any idea what kind of things I was imagining? I thought you were some kind of criminal. Was that really the only explanation you could think of? I know it's not a nice thought, but that kind of money... I guess I was just jumping to conclusions. There's no way you'd do something like that. I shouldn't have accused you. She bought it. Still, why did you automatically jump to the conclusion that I was a criminal? Couldn't you have just assumed I was gambling or selling my body? My brother, a lady of the night? Yeah, right. Hey, men can do that too, you know. You idiots, like anybody would pay you for that. In fact, I'm pretty sure you'd be the one paying your clients. Well, sorry for not being whore material. It's okay, I'll still sleep with you. But not like that. I'm just saying that there is one girl you can always sleep with. No, that still came out wrong. You know what I'm trying to say, don't you? Well, I'm flattered and all, but maybe we should just stay siblings. I'm telling you, that isn't what I meant. You know perfectly well what I'm trying to say. Even if you aren't whore material, I give up. Now this is more like it. Forget drama and conflict. Teasing Sarah is what I live for. Calm down, I know what you meant. Really? Of course. But did you really think I wouldn't tease you for saying it? Sarah's face remained bright red, but her breathing had slowed down to its normal level, indicating that the anger and anxiety from moments ago had come to pass. I continued to tease her a while longer, and she made sure to return the favor once or twice, completing the scene of a happy night in the Tesla home. Brief chapter? Ah, okay, good. I was hoping there was a little bit more. We're cutting straight to Friday. Friday night, September 30th. In the days following my latest spat with Sarah, life passed by in a surprisingly peaceful manner. With only a single day of work for the week, and Sarah having caught on to my change in profession, I had no reason to leave the house, let alone feign going to work. My presence at home was an all-time high, and money problems become a thing of the past, leaving Sarah with very little to worry about. And of course, if she's happy, I'm happy. The only downside to my new lifestyle is the mind-numbing boredom. Working only one day a week may be restful, but it's bad for the sanity. I've been exercising to a ridiculous degree as a result, but that doesn't stave off the boredom for long. Right now, I'd much rather be down here where things are at least interesting. Not that I was worried, of course. I had the guy right where I wanted him. So I said to him, "Which do you think is faster, a police car or my knife?" By the time I'd sliced off half his face, the guy was pissing himself. You should have seen the look on his demented face. Or at least they were interesting until Leon started monologuing. As I pondered my own situation, Leon continued to prattle on, as he had from the moment Sai asked for his report. Professional or not, Leon's hubris seemed to be getting in the way of his report, not to mention our meeting. That's enough. Sit down and shut up. Vincent, report. Huh? Oh, right. Vincent wiped the drool from his mouth and stood up. 3 targets, 3 kills, no civilian casualties, expense of 3 bullets. Not bad at all, I think. I may be new here, but it doesn't take a genius to figure out that executing all of your targets without any unrelated casualties or expenses is ideal. Regardless, I must admit that I'm a little jealous. You know, I've only just started here. One job for the week is pitifully low. And I can just imagine the pay bump for tripling my quota. Ken. 2 targets, 2 kills, 5 civilian casualties, no expenses. Do the casualties need taken care of? No, sir. They never saw me coming. Good enough. Misa, was your assistance required? In response to Saya's query, nobody made a sound. Instead, my other co-workers all turned my way, waiting for an answer. Going by their stares and the fact that there were only 2 girls here, I guess this must be Misa. Whatever her name is, she's quite an odd person. This girl ignored me when we met by chance, yet she'll sleep on my shoulder without hesitation. Speaking of which... Psst, Misa, wake up. I gently shook Misa back and forth until her eyes finally opened. No sooner had she woken up to silently answer Saya's question than Misa dozed off once more. Fine, go back to sleep. I'm used to being used as a pillow. I guess you were fine on your own after all. Whoa, 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 hang on a second. You actually did it? Without any help? You don't have to act that surprised. Wait, what are these 2 talking about? How does Misa's answer correspond to my assignment? Did a damn good job of it too. Much better than you would have, Leon. Made it look like a car accident or something. Nobody even saw him. Nobody. Misa, was he with the victim until the moment of death? Once again, he's asking her hold on. Oh, that was Sai asking. I misread that. Once again, he's asking her instead of me. How would she even... Wait a second, was Misa following me? Logically speaking, it does make sense. They can't have a target survive just because the new guy failed after all. Even so, for Misa to be able to follow me all that way, and for that long without me catching a single glimpse of her, she must really have a place here. At least Sai looks as dangerous as he acts. I completely underestimated this girl. Misa nodded in response to Sai's question, still seemingly half asleep. Alright, good enough. Suo, report. Me? Crap, how did the others go again? 1 target, 1 kill, no civilian casualties, expenses, train and bus fare? My colleagues all chuckled at me and rolled their eyes one after another. Fine, that's it for now. Nobody has any outstanding targets or loose ends. Sunday it is. With the meeting at last coming to an end, my colleagues rose to their feet and left the room, one after the other. That is, except for Misa and I. If it were Sarah sleeping on my arm, I would have simply carried her home. Given that the girl on my shoulder was both a near stranger and a professional killer, however, I realized that probably wouldn't go over too well. Just as I pondered my situation, Sai removed Misa from my shoulder, supporting her sleeping figure so she wouldn't fall over. Suo. Yes, sir? Karasu wishes to speak with you. As do I. After a short trip in utter silence, Sai, Misa, and I made our way to Karasu's office. Misa immediately made her way over to the wall and sat down, propping herself up and going back to sleep. Sai closed the door behind us, then walked over to my side as we faced Karasu. Welcome back, my children. All is well, I presume. His children? Karasu's starting to sound more like a priest than a crime lord. Sir, I brought the boy. I can see that. Did you tell him why he's... Oh, right, sorry. That was rude of me. Suo, my boy, do you know why you're here? No, sir. You don't even have an inkling. I'm sure there are dozens of reasons why Karasu might have called me here, given his jovial tone. I'm guessing it's not for anything negative. As for what that reason might be, however, I have no idea. No, sir. In that case, let me show you something. Karasu pressed a key on his laptop, causing the television screen behind him to light up. This is a research lab of Adder Technologies, a medical science firm. They're one of the largest multinational companies in the country. Ever heard of them? I know all too well who they are. There are many in this country who don't. There aren't many in this country who don't. Adder are the ones responsible for curing asthma, heart disease, and even various types of cancer. The problem is, their cures come with a premium price tag, and the patients who can actually afford their services still tend to drop like flies. They became infamous sometime last year when they unveiled their new wonder drug, as they put it, a universal vaccine, the type to cure you of any sickness known to man. Needless to say, it was a huge bust. After making a huge fortune off suckers worldwide, they retracted the drug and announced it was all part of some medical trial, successfully curing nothing but their drop in sales. I have, sir. I know I've heard all about them. Is that so? I bet you haven't heard what's in the works at their lab in Middlebrook. That's a pretty safe bet, considering I never even heard of the place. No, I haven't. In that case, feast your eyes on these. Karasu handed me a stack of blueprints, all marked confidential and bearing adder watermarks. The text was unreadable and the diagrams were nonsensical, but they were definitely corporate blueprints. Wait a minute. Is Karasu stealing their technology? Little Misa managed to get her hands on a flash drive containing these documents during an assignment a few months back. It took a while for our techies to decrypt the contents, but now that they have... Karasu gestured that I should flip through to the later blueprints. I did as he wanted, then stopped as I reached documents with English text and decipherable diagrams. As you can see, Adder have been branching out into other technologies. While they make money on the side by selling premium medical products, the core of their research is weaponry. On the page you're looking at, for example, is a personal fighter craft, a vehicle capable of flight that takes up less space than a modern sedan. It's marked as being a project for greener transportation, of course, allowing Adder to reap research and development grants outside of military commissions. Not that anybody believes it. In the first quarter of next year, Adder plan on unveiling their newest wonder drug to the public. When they do, security will be heightened and their research facilities will become far more difficult to infiltrate. So before they can do that, my children, you three are going to break into Adder Technologies. Again? In the face of Karasu's amazing proclamation, Sai and Misa both seemed thoroughly underwhelmed. Us three? You mean me? Who else would I mean? I told you when we first met, did I not? I told you that your job was not so simple. But I've never... It's the whole boxing fiasco all over again. This is definitely not what I signed up for. What's wrong? Not feeling up to the job? Sai and Little Misa have broken into Adder facilities plenty of times. Sai and Little Misa didn't start in this line of work less than a week ago. Not including the abandoned house near Sarah's school, the only place I've really broken into was the K household, and that was no walk in the park. I can only imagine how I'd go breaking into the office of a multi-billion-dollar company. Sir, it's just, wouldn't the others be more suited to the job? I only just started here, and I've never done this kind of thing before. There's no way The others? What, you mean Vincent? Violet? One of those novices? Let me tell you something. Outside of their small, little worlds, the other members of your esteemed group are nothing. Violet, that little harlot, so proud of her ability to seduce men, yet she couldn't handle a simple target. Then you come along out of nowhere, first day on the job, and one night you render her week of effort moot. Or Kane, perhaps. The man can beat Navy SEALs with his bare hands, but can he enter a scene without catching the attention of everyone there? And technically, aren't Navy and SEALs supposed to be capitalized? I don't even remember the last time he completed a job without injuring innocent civilians in the process. Karasu continued listening to his complaints about each of my co-workers, trying to convince me that I was overestimating their abilities. Look, this isn't a job that requires experience or even the ability to defend yourself. This job requires stealth, tact, and adaptability, things the majority of your esteemed colleagues lack. The only one of your colleagues up to the task is Leon. Pity I can only trust him as far as I can throw him. There's no telling what kind of mischief that conceited fool would get up to on a job like this. Besides, I didn't just choose you because you're the shiniest of 5 turds. I chose you for your adaptability. One day on the job and you're a better collector than Marcus. One day as a killer and you outdo Violet. It's remarkable. You just shift from position to position like it's nothing, adapting to your situation and blending in. You're like a human chameleon. Is that supposed to be a compliment? I've been called lots of things in my life, but chameleon is a new one. And the only reason I adapt so readily is because I have no choice. Sai and his daughter are the only ones currently capable of pulling this off. Unfortunately, the security measures barring entry from Adder's most prized secrets make this job a 3-person minimum. That's why I want you, my little chameleon, to start learning from the best. Even if you aren't ready now, a few weeks with my greatest assets should give you all the training you need. I don't know whether to feel flattered or afraid. Me, break into Adder Technologies? But I'm a killer, right? That's why you hired me. I did nothing of the sort. Your first assignment was a test. The fact that you also completed necessary service under my employ is just a bonus. Of course, that isn't to say you won't be killing anyone else. But your position is by no means limited to that kind of work. So what do you say? Interested in becoming Sai's newest protege? Breaking into Adder, learning from Sai. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't interested, but to already move on from assassinations to corporate espionage? I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. Am I a high school student? A furniture mover? A collector? A head collector? An assassin? What is my goal? Do I want to make enough money to support my sister indefinitely? Am I just making ends meet until we receive our inheritance? My life has been in overdrive for a while now. I've done all kinds of things I never thought possible. Am I really prepared to move into the world of corporate espionage? Hell, what am I thinking? This could be the lucky break I've been waiting for. Karasu already said that Sai would be training me beforehand, and I wouldn't even have to kill anyone. This could be the single greatest opportunity in my lifetime. Alright, I'll do it. Excellent. I knew you wouldn't let me down. And don't worry, you'll be rewarded soundly for your efforts. I was hoping that would be the case. I don't mean to sound greedy, but how much are we talking about here? How much? My boy, money would be a rather poor reward for something this grandiose. Huh? He isn't going to try to screw me like my last boss, is he? No. For a job like this, the reward must be just as special. Succeed, and I'll return your home to you. My home? You lost your home not long ago, correct? Your parents' house? I've done my research. I know all about your life, before and after your parents' demise. If I recall correctly, your parents' deaths were deemed suspicious, and you've been locked out of your inheritance pending a thorough investigation. What you weren't told is how horribly slow and corrupt the justice system in this country is. I have already obtained your house, for safekeeping, of course. Do this for me, and I will sign the rights over to you. Well, that went better than expected. When Sai said the two of them wanted to speak to me, I wasn't sure what to think. But for our old home, the house Sarah and I grew up in, to be so close. Suo. Yes, sir. 11 p.m. sharp, Monday through Thursday. Meet me at Andre's gym. The gym? Okay, but why? For training, weren't you listening? Right, of course. But hitting the gym? Is that really a good way to prepare for that? Just be there. Yes, of course. I'm not done talking. There's one other duty I'll have you perform. There's more. The decision for you to join Misa and I in training and work was not Karasu's alone. He wants Misa and I to teach you, to show you how professionals do things, to give you the skills you need to pull off our Advent raid and survive. But I don't care about any of that. I agreed to all this for my daughter's sake, not yours. His daughter, meaning Misa. She walked off on her own when we left Karasu's office, so I didn't think her destination was the same as Sai's. So this may get me killed, but we're gonna do it. I guess he must want me to date her. Two adolescents ripped from the shackles of education, forced into a life of crime, left with nobody to confide in but one another. They grow closer through the sweat and bloodshed, misunderstood by the adults and criminals around them. And then when it is all over, they at last give in to passion. Whatever you're thinking, stop it immediately. It's okay, I understand completely. Oh? You want me to teach your daughter the passion of youth, correct? The passion of youth? The relationship between a young man and woman, the closeness that only the two of them could possibly feel. In other words, you want me to date your daughter? You... Actually, that's pretty much it. Wait, really? Kind of. What I want from you is something that nobody else here can offer, Misa. You're 17, going by the date of your birth. You're 4 months older than my daughter. You're by far the closest to her in terms of age and even in circumstance. Circumstance? Torn away from your home, cut off from other people your age, thrown headfirst into the real world, left with little choice but to fight. Oh. But I won't let that fact consume my daughter's life. Suo, all I want from you is your friendship. When you're not at work, I want you to spend your free time with my daughter. Teach her about this city, about this foreign culture. Show her that there's more to life than the malice and deceit that we deal with every day. Make her see firsthand that this world isn't completely rotten. But above all, prove to her that life is still worth living. Damn. How the hell am I supposed to say no to that? Wow, long chapter. Sunday night, October 2nd. As usual, my weekend passed by in the blink of an eye, and for the first time in history I was actually glad to see it pass. The same lack of drama that I craved, paired with my work being complete for the week, led to a peaceful yet painfully boring weekend. The Friday night meeting aside, the only noteworthy event in my life recently was my chance encounter with Misa. I didn't know her name at the time, and we'd only briefly met before, but I recognized Misa immediately, and I wasn't terribly happy to see her. Going by her indifference, however, it seems the feelings were one-sided. For Misa to sleep on my shoulder without a second thought, she obviously didn't think our earlier encounter was worth fretting over. Maybe I was just overthinking things. I'm sure she didn't mean any offense. Not that it matters. Now that Sai has tasked me with keeping his daughter company, we'll be spending plenty of time together, whether she wants to or not. Setting aside everything else that happened over the past week, there remained one aspect of my life which deteriorated and recovered in record time. When Sarah confronted me about my paycheck, I didn't know what was going to happen. She became angry, I fled, and upon her return she lashed out. I may be quick to label peace as boring, but when it comes down to it, I'll take boredom over familial drama any day. Unfortunately, the peace and boredom I've earned has been rather costly. Once again, I found myself lying to my sister, trying to convince her that I'm just an honest, hard-working person. But with the issue likely to arise again in a mere fortnight, and my disappearance is no doubt set to increase, this kind of peace is bound to be short-lived. What currently concerns me most of all isn't my personal life, however, or even my job. Rather, the biggest concern I have right now is my training with Sai. As excited as I am to see what he can teach me, if it's anything like my training with Leon, I doubt I'll even survive. I'm sure the others are good at what they do, but Sai, that man is scary. The others, a supposed group of killers, are deathly afraid of him. One word is all it takes for him to instill fear in his own colleagues. And yet, when Sai spoke of his daughter so tenderly, I knew he couldn't be all bad. He does what he needs to in order to survive and to provide for his family, no matter how others view him for it. He's so strong, so capable and independent, yet he still cares deeply for his family. He really is worthy of admiration. Granting myself a momentary reprieve from my thoughts, I arrived in the same meeting room I had visited earlier in the week. Once again, I was the first to arrive, having shown up early so as not to be late. And so, despite my desire to get to work and stay out of my own head, I found myself alone with my thoughts once more. What a waste of time. Tell me about it. The drive over here took longer than the meeting. Now, a quick meeting's a good meeting, I always say. Within 10 minutes of their arrival, my coworkers and I had all sat down, been assigned our work, and begun to depart. I received a single assignment once again, compared to the multiple targets given to most of the others, with Misa and Sai not receiving any. I guess those two just take whatever work is left over, huh? No need to be assigned any. Well, whatever. The most important thing is that I have my work for the week. Now it's time to go home. Not so fast. Or not. Here. Sai handed me a stack of blueprints, which I immediately recognized. Blueprints? Wait a minute, aren't these... They're copies of the blueprints Karasu showed you, as well as other floor plans, hidden entrances, and everything else you should know for our upcoming mission. Take them home, study them, memorize every security camera, every alarm, every exit. Wow, these are seriously detailed. I'm amazed Karasu was able to get his hands on these. It'll take a while for me to make sense of them, but these will definitely help. Unlike Misa and Sai, I've never broken in anywhere more luxurious than a vandalized apartment. I'll need every bit of help I can if I'm going to pull this off, whether my role is noteworthy or not. More importantly, Misa emerged from behind Sai's back, silently moving like the professional killer she is. Misa, have you given any thought to what we discussed? I see. What about you, Suo? Me? What on earth is he talking about? If it's something Sai wants from me, then surely it's about me dating his daughter. Curious about where I'll be taking your daughter? Yes, actually. The two of you only have one assignment between you for the week. Have you given any thought as to how you'll spend the rest of your time together? So that's why she wasn't assigned any work. Anyway, as far as plans go, I can come up with something on the fly. Just leave it to me, sir. I have it all planned out. Oh? So you're the confident playboy type, huh? Huh? No, it's nothing like that. I just thought it'd be a good idea to plan ahead, you know? Alright, I'll leave it to you then. Be at Central Park at 10 a.m. and escort Misa back here when you're done for the day. Aside from that, it's up to you. Come along, Misa. As her father began to walk off, Misa opened her mouth as if to finally have her say. The moment she did so, however, Sai ushered her along, robbing her of the opportunity. So I'm supposed to juggle my new career as a killer, prepare to rob a multi-billion-dollar company, and date a professional killer all at the same time. Why does it feel like I'm digging my own grave? Chapter 10, Misa. The next day.